Hey, what's up? Mitä kuuluu? Welcome to yet another unrehearsed slideshow about Finland. And this time we're gonna talk about public transit in Finland. So, big surprise, there are no jeepneys there at all. But let's see whatever else there is and how it works. Okay, so depending on where you are in Finland, getting around without a car might be really difficult or very easy. If you are in a rural area, getting anywhere without a car or a bike might not be the easiest thing to do. If you are in a big city, then you will have no problem getting to another end of the city to visit your friend. Okay. And all public transit in Finland is subsidized by some public entity, so the prices are relatively affordable, and this is one way that local governments fight traffic jams and pollution and so on. And most operators are private, but these services are always coordinated by some sort of public entity. At the state level, it's Liikennevirasto, or the Finnish Transportation Agency, and for example, for the Helsinki metropolitan area, it's Helsinki Region Transit Authority, or HSL, from Helsingin Seudun Liikenne. Okay, let's first talk about local area public transit. So this is public transit within a city or a municipality, not like intra-city travel. And extent of public transit varies a lot depending on where you are. So big cities have extensive networks, while smaller municipalities might have one bus line that services the central area of the municipality like few times a day. But if you live in a major city, you might have like a 24-hour service. If you live in a rural area, less so. Helsinki metropolitan area is like the only actual big city in Finland, and that area has by far the most extensive coverage of public transportation services. And there, like I said, there are no jeepneys in Finland, but if you travel anywhere outside of Helsinki, it's mostly handled by buses. Some municipalities also have train transportation as well as ferries. Helsinki area uses trams, ferries, and there's a subway and commuter trains and all kinds of stuff. And the city of Tampere, at the moment of recording, is building a tramway, so it'll be in operation in a few years, I guess, or soonies. Okay, so I'll talk about the Helsinki area a little more, since that's where like 25% of the population of the entire country lives anyway, and because many of you guys will be probably working in that area. And some of the info in the next few slides only pertains to the information in the Helsinki area, where the public transit is coordinated by HSL, or the Helsinki Region Transit Authority. The logo is seen here, and HRT is the same in Swedish. Okay, in case you don't know what a bus looks like, they are usually blue in the Helsinki area, so you can keep it separate from subway trains, which are orange. This thingy here is a bus. So usually when you board a bus or local bus in Finland, it shows the route number, and then it shows the terminus. So there might be bus lines that have the same number, but they operate in different directions. So make sure you board the one with going to the terminus that you are headed to. This thing here is a tram in the Helsinki area, and just like buses, they have the route code as well as the terminus or final destination listed in the front. There are 3 words for tram in Finnish. Raitiovaunu is a technical term, ratikka is a little more colloquial, and spora only applies to Helsinki area trams, so it's local slang term for trams used in Helsinki. This thingy here is a commuter train, so they are a little lighter than intercity trains. They make frequent stops and mainly service the capital city area and some other big cities. In the Helsinki area, the individual routes are marked with a letter, so they are called, or the trains are called by that letter in Finnish, though people might be talking about A-juna or K-juna or N-juna and so on. This does not usually mean that the terminus of the train ends or starts with that letter. They are just a name to tell the trains apart from each other. And this thingy here is a subway train. It only exists in Helsinki in Finland, or Helsinki and Espoo in Finland at the moment, and there's only one line with 2 branches. So metro is the system and metro or metrojuna is the individual train. And this is one of the ferries that operate in the Helsinki area. This particular one takes you to the Suomenlinna sea fortress off the coast of Helsinki. Okay, so when you buy public transit tickets in Finland, they are for local public transit. They are usually, the price is fixed and not based on the distance you travel, unlike with jeepneys here. And these are time-based, and usually there are free transfers. So you buy the ticket once, and then you have a free transfer to another vehicle, or depending on the scenario, like free access to all public transportation within the area where that ticket is valid, depending on the city and the municipality. And never pay with cash when you buy public transit tickets. It's always the most expensive option. So you want to use a monthly pass if you use public transit frequently, or you want to get an app or a travel card for that particular transportation system or municipality, since using those is always cheaper than using a single ticket, and especially when buying it with cash. Depending on the area and your resident status, you might get some discounts on a monthly pass in the local area public transportation, so that makes it even more affordable option for you depending on where you are. And they check if you are a resident by checking if your name appears in the population register center's database when you purchase the ticket for the first time. And this is something you do when you go to Finland. It's one of the first things you do is to go and register. Do that once, so you are a resident of the city where you actually end up living in. And when you change the municipality or city, or if you move, then you have to file the change of address online, so that these discounts also, or you get the discounts in your new place of residence, if any apply to your situation. Okay, so here are some comparisons. So this pertains to the Helsinki area. I'll explain these zones a little later, but if you use the app, you'll get a single 80-minute ticket for roughly €3. Same if you have it on the card or ticket machine. But if you use public transit frequently, like 5 days a week, twice a day, then you can immediately tell that buying these so-called seasonal passes or unlimited rides for that region for a certain amount of time is immediately way more affordable than just buying single tickets on day-to-day basis. So if you know that your workplace is far away from home and you have to commute basically on daily basis using public transportation, then this is something that you absolutely want instead of just having to buy those single tickets. And there are these tickets are either physical cards, or you have an app where you add load, and both of those cost pretty much the same and are used in a similar way to pay for public transit. So if the area where you are located in, if they have any sort of like centralized app or travel card system, you want to get it because it's usually cheaper than all the other alternatives. In the Helsinki area, you can load or add load to it or credits to it, and this is called arvo in the local lingo, literally value. Or you can get those unlimited ride passes that are valid for a certain time period, usually 30 days or up to a year, and these are called kausi, literally season in Finnish. And even if you don't use these, you wanna get some other method than just cash, because those are usually end up being or cash mostly ends up being the most expensive option. Alrighty. So the zones that I mentioned earlier. So in the Helsinki area, the municipalities and cities in that area are divided into zones, and depending on where you travel, you might need different kinds of tickets. So at the moment, the HSL area covers the city of Helsinki and cities and municipalities that surround it. And when you buy a ticket or zone-based ticket, and you have to buy it because it's your only option, you always have to buy a ticket that covers at least 2 zones. You cannot buy a single zone ticket at all. And these tickets give you unlimited access to all public transportation within that area, and the validity depends on how many zones or which zones your ticket is valid on. Here is a map. So city of Helsinki is in the middle, covering zones A and B, and then the zones spread out from it and extend all the way to zone D on the outer edges of the HSL area. So let's say you want to travel from Kirkkonummi, which is on the zone D, all the way to downtown Helsinki in zone A. So you need to cross 4 zones, D, C, B, and A to get there. So you need to buy a ticket that covers all of those. But if you are only traveling within downtown Helsinki, if you only stay within the A ticket area, then you don't have to buy a ticket for the ABC zone. You can just buy your only option, which would be the AB zone ticket. So even if you never cross to the area of zone B, you still need a ticket that covers at least those. And if you never enter downtown Helsinki, if you travel from C to D, then buy applicable ticket and don't waste your money on like 3 or 4 zone ticket, because it costs more the more zones that are included on your ticket. But if you use the app to navigate, the HSL app for navigating and purchasing your ticket, it automatically explains or tells you which kind of ticket you need, and automatically offers you the cheapest and the best option. So you don't have to like actually know where zone B ends and changes into zone Z when you travel there. The app figures it out for you. Okay, here is a picture of the said app. So you can use it as a route planner. You enter the destination address and the departure point, or have the phone figure it out from your physical location, and then it calculates the best route and available public transportation for you to reach that area, and it usually works pretty well. It also tells you if there are any service disruptions or any other issues that might affect your journey. and then you can buy the app right in the no sorry you can buy the ticket right in the app if you don't have the seasonal ticket valid at that time. Okay, so that was how it works in Helsinki area and in big cities. There is no like pass that covers the entire country at the moment. The best there is this so-called Waltti travel card that is valid in most, well, not most, but many big cities in Finland, as well as in the eastern parts of the country for public transit. And you can use the same card to pay for rides using credits in all of these cities where it's available, but you can only get the seasonal pass in the city that you are a resident of, so you cannot have unlimited rides across the whole region. The unlimited rides are limited to the city, but you can use it to pay with credits if you pay in another city. This is outdated information. It says that unlike the HSL card, you can add load to it online. These days you can only also add load to the HSL card online, so I should have taken that out. But like I said, this is an unrehearsed recording with an old PowerPoint, so here we go. Alright, so that was local public transportation, and now let's talk about intercity travel. So if you want to visit your friend on the other end of Finland, how to do that using public transit. Kaukoliikenne is a term for long distance intercity public transit. Okay, so you can buy most tickets, or basically all tickets, online ahead of time, and depending on the service and the company, you might even get a discount if you book early. So you don't have to line up at the ticket offices, nor are the services first come first serve basis. You can just, as soon as you know when you're going to travel, you can just go online and purchase your ticket, and that guarantees a seat on that particular day for that particular bus, if it still exists at that point. Okay. It's not particularly expensive to travel long distances in Finland using public transportation, because there are many companies and the prices are relatively low. It depends, of course, where you are and how far you're going and what time of the day, and if you're going from very remote place to another very remote place, you might have to go through a major city, and that might not always be the most optimal route distance wise or price wise. Okay, so if you travel by bus, there are a lot of options. If you travel by train, there is only one company for that at the moment. It's the state-owned VR. VR, nothing to do with virtual reality. It used to be an abbreviation of Valtion Rautatiet States Railways, but at the moment it's the only railroad company that offers passenger services, intercity passenger services across long distances. Not the commuter trains operate a little differently. The buses are usually cheaper, but trains are often faster, and usually there's more leg room, and they are nicer to travel on in general. But totally up to you. It depends on how much you value your time. So this thingy here is a train. The term for that in Finnish is juna, and that means the entire train, the locomotive and the cars, or individual multiple units. How do you get around intercity travel wise? Okay, so you rarely need to talk to anybody, and you do not need to look at printed timetables in Finland, because you can just find all that information online. You can purchase the tickets online, or if not, there are like vending machines, ticket machines at many stations and in some public transit stops. So no need to stop at every street corner and ask where the Palenque is. You can just look it up using an app. If you know the destination address, or at least if you know the name of the place you are looking for. And there are many ways to navigate in Finland, like Google Maps of course works, but if the local municipality has their own dedicated journey planner or an app for that, use that, because that always has the most up-to-date information. Depending on what kind of service you're looking for, there might be a centralized site for it. Many long-distance bus tickets or schedules can be looked up at this address, matkahuolto.fi, or you might have to go to the individual website of a major bus company. For trains it's easier because there's only one option, it's the vr.fi. For the Helsinki metropolitan area you can use reittiopas.fi or just the HSL app for navigation, or just hsl.fi to get the site where you can find information about the tickets and passes and so on. So like I said, Google Maps also works, but it might not have the most up-to-date info, so double check from local sources if possible. Alright, and this is a screenshot of the website of the VR. So you just enter the starting city and the destination city, your desired travel time, and then look it up. And then you can pay for it online using your credit or debit card or online banking depending on the service. So that's it. Pretty easy, right? Just go online, find where you want to go, buy the ticket, then find out where the bus station or train station is, board the vehicle, and there you go. Alrighty, thank you.